Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I will be driving through the city of Anniston, Alabama, which is located in the northeast central part of Alabama. Well, kind of central. It's in Calhoun County. I can't pronounce it correctly. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Calhoun. So anyone knows how to pronounce it correctly, drop a comment below. But Anniston, Alabama is an hour east of Birmingham. It is an hour and a half west of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this city, and not in a good way. Now, as you guys will see very shortly, this city does have some areas that are extremely rough, and there's been a lot of negative talk about this city, a lot of negative publicity. I mean, this city is definitely not the best that society has to offer someone. Now, I will be honest, when I drove through this city, in my opinion, this city did not look as bad as I thought it would look. I mean, when I first came here, I was thinking that I would run into another Selma, Alabama or something. But the city, as far as its physical appearance, is not quite that bad. It's not quite that far gone. So, anyhow, Anniston is located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. Give me 1 second here. Now, the population of Anniston is 21,455 people, and this city has been losing population at a rate of 5.2% as of the 2020 census. And if you want to live in this city, the median home price here is going to be $120,000. And I would say to live in the better part of the city, you will need that kind of money for a house. That would be my suggestion. And as far as it goes for rent here, let's look at some renting data. Give me 1 second here. Now, if you want to live here and just pay rent, your rent prices are going to go from $630 to $1,220 a month. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think, well, hold up. Your rent prices, as you know, according to my research, your rent prices will go as low as $500 a month, up to $1,222 a month. Those are your median rent prices. So, as far as it goes for the crime in this city, the crime in this city is insane. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. When it comes to violent crime, you got over 4 times the national average when it comes to violent crime. You got 2.7 times the national average when it comes to property crime. So crime here is insane. It's crazy. There is no sugarcoating. There is no nice way I'm even going to try to put it. And, you know, I don't mean to get super political on this video because this is not a political channel. However, you know, there's been a lot of talk about if you live in a certain city that's ran by a certain political party, the crime is either going to be high or it's going to be low. Now, although I personally do find an element of truth in those type of statements, this city is one of those type of cities where that, this city, I guess some people may say, is the exception of the rule. Because right now, the mayor, let me back up. Now, people who live in this city, apparently the majority of the people here do vote Republican. The mayor, Jack Draper, he is a Republican mayor, and he is white. And this is a conservative voting city. Now, the population here is, I believe, is 48% black and 43% white. So why do I bring up the political aspect of the city? I bring it up because just because the people of the city might vote one way or another does not necessarily mean that the crime or the infrastructure of that city is going to be any good. There's certain cities out here where people vote much differently, and the crime and the infrastructure is far better. So like I said, me personally, I do believe that kind of information does bear some truth. But again, before you move somewhere, it's important that you take the time, you do a little bit of critical thinking, and you do the old hopping in your vehicle and setting foot on that soil and checking out the area for yourself before moving to an area. This current housing market is crazy. You got people overbidding. You got people buying houses and not even knowing where the hell it's located. They know where it's at, but they don't know the area. That's what I'm talking about. So this city, to me, serves as a perfect example that you can do all the research you want as far as political and affiliation or what have you. But do not, and I repeat, do not buy a house before setting foot physically in the city yourself. Don't be lazy and hire yourself a real estate agent to do a virtual tour, and then you just settle for what the agent shows you. Because the agent might do a virtual tour of the house, and then they might show you an area that's clean, that's nice, where the majority of the homes look nice. There might be a block or two away from the actual property that you're inquiring on purchasing. So anyhow, there are plenty, for those of you that are looking for cheap and affordable homes, this city has a plethora of cheap and affordable homes. There are several homes in this city right now as I speak that are for sale for less than $20,000. Now, of course, I'm not gonna sit here and guarantee you your safety or the safety of your family. I'm not even gonna suggest that if you have a family that you even go and live in some of those areas. As you guys will see in a little bit, the areas where your cheaper homes are going to be located, you're probably not going to want to move. You're probably not going to want to move yourself and your family to those areas. Now, I guess if you're desperate, you're living out of your car, and you have no place to lay your head at night, I guess do what you gotta do. But honestly, some of the areas that are in this city, now bear in mind, I just read off the crime data of the city, so honestly, I'd probably rather continue to live out of my car or out of my van or whatever vehicle I'm driving in than to buy a house around here for under $20,000. I'm just saying. Now this city has been named Model City by the Atlanta newspaper man Henry W. Grady for its careful planning in the late 19th century. Careful planning of what? Okay, well, this city was considered a town in 1873. Now, this city does have quite a bit of history in concerns to the Civil Rights era, which I kind of paraphrased it a little bit because I'm not trying to bore you guys with all the nitty-gritties here. So, a bus filled with civilian freedom riders were bombed by a mob in 1961. And now you guys, I know you guys are intelligent, so use your common sense. When I talk about a mob and when I talk about civilian freedom riders, I'm pretty sure the majority of you are intelligent enough to guess what mob I'm talking about. Because with this being YouTube, I can't talk to you guys like I would typically talk to adults. I gotta kind of use elementary language. I gotta kind of talk to you guys like I'm talking to a freaking third grader because of the YouTube guidelines. So anyways, there were freedom riders were riding a integrated bus to protest against the bus segregation laws at the time, because at the time here in Alabama during the 1960s, during the Civil Rights era and earlier, it was against the law for a bus to be integrated. And of course, that law was declared unconstitutional, and due to all that, there was a lot of protest. Now, the city formed the HRC, the Human Relations Council, my apologies, to address the violence that was going on in the city due to the different racial protests going on at the time. And due to the HRC being formed in the city, more violence still continued to take place. Now, and one thing that caused the violence to really take off in the city and get like super duper out of control was when the HRC attempted to integrate the city's whites-only public library. The night of July 15th of 1965, Damon Strange, a Triple K leader, deleted William Brewster, a black foundry worker. So while Damon Brewster was walking home from his job, apparently what's the name? Apparently, Damon Strange drove up and deleted him, obviously because he was black. Now, Damon Strange, the suspect, the leader of the Triple K, was convicted of the crime by an all-white jury at the time in Calhoun County. And this was the first time that a white person was convicted of killing someone black in the state of Alabama. Now, this city apparently does have a history of poor air quality. In 2002, 60 Minutes did a investigation of this city's air quality and determined that Anniston was one of the most toxic cities in the country due to the different combustible chemicals that used to be produced in this city. I mean, there were several chemical plants that were in this city from 1929 to 1971. So apparently the last chemical plant closed down somewhere in the 1970s, I'm assuming. But due to that, I guess the chemicals were so strong that it still stayed in the air all the way into the early 2000s. Now, as far as things to do in this city, you got the Birmingham Museum, you got the Anniston Museum of Natural History, you got the Freedom Riders Park, you got the Coldwater Mountain Bike Trail, which, if you're into biking, it is a beautiful trail. I would advise you ride it. You also have the White Oak Vineyard. For those of you that are into drinking fresh wine, that's a winery they can go visit. And you also have the Happy Hour Comedy Club, which obviously they do hold different type of comedy shows there for those of you that are into comedy and you want something to laugh at in life. Now, as far as what I think about this city, as you guys can see, this city does have its fair share of very extremely rough communities. Now, the neighborhood I'm driving through right now is going to this is most likely what your neighborhood is going to look like if you're looking to purchase one of those super cheap houses that I've mentioned earlier on this video. I think this is one of the rougher areas. I was so busy looking at my notes, I didn't pay attention to the video itself. So basically, when you drive through this city and you start to see a bunch of houses that are in deplorable condition, you start to see a bunch of houses in deplorable condition. That's going to be the neighborhood where you're going to find your cheap houses. Like I told you guys, me personally, I wouldn't live in that kind of a neighborhood, especially here in Anniston, given the high crime rate. Now, I have lived in poor areas before, but never quite like this. Just to give you guys a perspective of what the crime in this city is, statistically speaking, this city has got higher crime numbers than major cities. The crime numbers in this city are higher than Chicago. I would say the crime in this city, I would say it's higher than even Detroit, to be completely honest. Or two, it might be comparable to Detroit. So with that being said, although this city does have some nice areas, me personally, I wouldn't want to live here in Anniston just due to the high crime numbers. I'm going to keep it all the way real with you folks. You got some very nice areas here, but I'm just not a fan of living anywhere where I feel I would have to look over my shoulders when I go to a gas station at night and fill my vehicle up with gas. Because sometimes during the day things happen, I get busy, and I have to fill up my vehicle at night. Or I might have to go out at nighttime to do my grocery shopping. And honestly, this would not be the type of city that I would want to go out at night to do much of anything. I'm going to be real. I mean, if I had to, I would. But if I don't have to, I'd rather not. So I understand different strokes for different folks, but for me personally, like I said at the beginning of the video, this city, in my opinion, at least, the appearance of this city is definitely not a Selma, Alabama, or anything like that. However, the crime in this city is ridiculous. And just off of that, just off of that, I personally would have no desire to live here. I'm not saying this is a bad place. I'm just saying this city wouldn't be for me. Now, I will say this city does have a lot of beautiful. Now, I will say, given that this city is located at the foots of the Appalachian Mountains, this is a very beautiful city. I mean, if you can look past some of the dilapidation in some of these neighborhoods, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful rolling hills here. I mean, in the fall time, if you were to come and do this drive, the different colors of the leaves would be beautiful. And I would say a good thing that's going for this city is you're only an hour from Birmingham, and you're only an hour and a half from Atlanta. So obviously, if you get a little bored and you need to go somewhere that has more entertainment, all you gotta do is drive an hour and a half east into Atlanta. When it comes to employment opportunities, obviously you're only an hour west of Birmingham. I mean, Birmingham is only an hour west of here. And I'm gonna be honest, like when I looked at how people here typically voted, and then I saw that most people here vote Republican, I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting to see most people here voting liberal. So when I saw that they voted Republican, I was very surprised. I'm gonna be completely honest. So, I mean, I got my little, there's certain things that I suspect when it comes to voting here, but this is YouTube, so I really can't elaborate on any of that. All I can say is, just because you have a certain political party running a city doesn't automatically mean that the city is going to be safe. That's all I gotta say to that. Alright folks, that's my 2 cents. I'm gonna let you guys finish watching the rest of the video, and I would appreciate it if you guys gave this video a thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm, to help with the growth of my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that, because I will be putting out many more videos. And for those of you that have subscribed recently and have been following my channel and have been following my my videos, I appreciate you. I can't thank you guys enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys finish this video. If you have to, watch whatever you can watch, stop, come back and watch later. I do realize that this video is extremely long. However, all the publicity that I've heard about Anniston, I wanted to come out and do a detailed video. I wanted to give you guys what I consider an accurate view of the city. Now, did I get every bit of the city? No, I didn't. But I just wanted to give you guys at least a healthy idea of what Anniston looks like for those of you that are considering moving to Anniston, or for those of you investors that are considering investing in Anniston. I just want to give you guys an idea of what Anniston is going to look like. Alright folks, I'm going to holler at you later.